Okay lads, so during this video we're just going to have a bit of a walkthrough of this first question, I suppose, that's going to be presented to you. Now you've already seen the solution to this in a previous slide, as well as you've seen the dynamic model that I provided you with, which should be available there on Solace on, I suppose, this lesson tab itself. Now if we were to kick this off, the first thing, like always, we have to read the question, what's being asked. So use your auxiliary views. So now first of all we know that we're going to be taking auxiliary views of this object to find the dihedral angle between two surfaces of the object. Okay, so basically what we're gathering here is we're taking our auxiliary views, we're finding a dihedral angle, and it's going to be of two of the surfaces of the object. Now this question here, although it seems pretty simple, and the solution actually seems pretty simple, the actual visualization of it can be tough for people, and you can see that actually within the model itself. You can see that, you know, trying to actually visualize this yourself can be tough. That's why we're kind of giving you these I suppose SolidWorks models as well as drafted drawings, so that you can wrap your brain around it, so that then you yourself can, I suppose, tackle a drawing independently, one different to the one that I've ran through. Now, like always lads, if there's any issues with understanding of this particular question or other questions that are asked that haven't been given a solution in the lab, just be sure and ask me. So first of all here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the two surfaces that I'm going to be taking the dihedral angle basically off of. So I'm just going to say A and B, and then I'm going to also label them here. And this is going to be A, and B is actually going to be below. You won't actually be able to see it here, so I'm just not going to label it, not to be confusing things. Also, I'm just going to throw in my name quickly. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically decide what I need to take here for my auxiliary views to find this dihedral angle. Now I don't actually need to take the whole shape itself. All I need is the surface A and B, as well as that this, I suppose, line that that basically is shared by the two of them, which I'm just going to call 1 and 2 for each side of it. Now I'm going to label the other corners that I'm going to be taking, which is going to be 3 over here and 4 over here, because I'm just taking this plane and this plane, A and B. Now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to label them below here. So we know we have 3 is below here, 2 is here, 4 is here, and 1 is going to be here. So now first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to look at this, I suppose, in a certain way that we can look down along this line, the line that's basically shared between the two surfaces, to identify that angle. And to do that, first of all, we need to find this line here as a true length. Okay, so now we have this line 1, 2 here and 1, 2 here. Now both of these are true length. We can tell that from the elevation and the plan here. You can see that they're both off at an angle on both. So as you can see here below plan, it's traveling this way, but we also know by looking at the line above here, it's at an angle. And then also looking at here, we know that it's at an angle because it is below here in plan. So what we want to do first of all is see this as a true length. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to project a view off parallel with this. So I'm going to X1 Y line parallel to this line 1, 2, and then when I look across here, what I'll be able to see is this line as a true length. Now if you're a small bit confused by that, I would track back to some of the earlier slides on this particular lab and have a look through them and see the information I provide you, because I've gone through how you can identify what is a true length of a line. Get my sliding set squares, set them up in such a way that I won't be hitting them off of anything. Take a line parallel, bring it out, not too far. Nice strong line. Call it X1, Y1. My first auxiliary view. Now what I want to do is I want to take perpendicular lines from that line. so. Now I'm just going to extend my way out like this first of all, and afterwards I can just ignore the excess line because I'll do it nice and lightly. If you want afterwards, you can go back and you can just rub out the excess. Up here, take 4 up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my heights from my elevation over here, auxiliary elevation, like so. So I'll just start with 4 over here. 4, mark it off, label it 4. Now you want to make sure that your compass has nice sharp lid on it, as well as your pencil, to ensure that the measurements you're taking over are the same. Now I'm just going to basically draw my 2 surfaces. So I have 1, 3 and 2, or sorry, 1, 2 and 3. So if I go 1 to 2, like so, 2, 3, 3 back to 1, that's one of our surfaces, and that is going to be surface A. And then we're going to have surface B, which is going to be 1, 2, 4. So 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 back to 1, like so. Now what I have is my true length of line 1 to 2 here. So true length. I'm going to extend this line, so I want to look along this line. So I basically want to see it as a point, and when I see that as a point, then I'll be able to see my dihedral angle like so. So as I look along line 1, 2, I do a perpendicular line to that after I extended it out, like so. Call this my x2, y2 line. So this is my secondary auxiliary, which is going to be an auxiliary plan. And I'm going to do parallel lines to the line that I've already created here. Make sure you're nice and careful. Now, when you take your measurements back, so if I take 1 first, like so, 1 here, so that's going to be 1. Now I also know that we want to see that as a line, so 1 and 2 are going to be the same height. So for instance here, 1, which I just marked off, and 2 is going to be the same height, so I can call that 1 and 2, 1/2. Now I'm going to get my height for 3, like so, to 3. Now my line I need to extend, not going all the way up yet. Be careful not to have going too far off, like so. Call that 3. Now my last point 4, like so. Bring it over here and knock it off. I need to extend this line as well. And call that 4. Now basically draw it in like so. Now basically you have an edge view of both planes, and you're viewing the line that basically is shared in between the two planes as a point. So now we can say that this angle here is our dihedral angle. Okay, now it's as easy as that. So if you've any questions or you're still not too sure how this works, be sure and give me an email. But the best thing for you to do first of all is study that model that I provided you with to understand this question itself. As well as that, there's plenty of information in the book about I suppose auxiliary projection, as well as true lengths of a line, as well as the dihedral angle. So just make sure that you look at them first, and after that, if you still have a question, give me an email.